Hey everyone, Jubilee here. I cannot believe it has been a full year since My Brother the King, the first book in my series, was published, and My Rival the King, My Father the King, and the Bible study quickly followed. Now, in celebration, today and tomorrow only, the ebook compilation, so the three books together in a trilogy box set, but it's the ebook only, is going to be free to download. That's probably the best price. It's usually like one price for all three, like $9.99 or something. But for today and tomorrow, in celebration of the birthday, it's going to be completely free. So go check that out. Be sure to comment on here as well if the book has impacted you or you've heard any testimonies from anyone. That is why I do this, really. It's the getting it out there, and any money that comes from it is really, honestly, a very small part of it. It's something that I've been wanting to do for the sake of impacting and sharing a message that really opens people up to understand the Bible in a deeper way, a more personal way. And the few stories that I have heard that's what makes it all worth it to me. So feel free to share that if you would like. I wanted to share something from 2 Kings 4 because just in memory, looking back, I have shared on my website, I think I called it Going Professional, and I shared some of the professional things that I've learned along the way, like, that it's going to hurt a little bit when you step into the professional world with your passion project. You're going to have to pay for stuff, take it step by step, bathe everything in prayer, things like that. But those were more professional, practical things that I learned. But in celebration of the anniversary of these books, I wanted to share one of the main things that I learned, a more personal, deep lesson from 2 Kings 4. And I have it down here. So this is the story of the prophet Elisha and the widow's oil. So early in the process of publishing these books, obviously, for those of you who don't know, self-publishing it can be a very expensive venture because you are fronting the bill. I mean, it costs money to print books. And so you are paying for the printing and then anything else like cover design or editing that you want to do. And God had really opened a lot of doors and kickstarted this kind of out of nowhere in 2020. So I had these books and I had the publisher that wanted to work with me and the contract and everything. But so I was working with a publisher, but it was a self-publishing situation. So I had complete creative control, but also complete financial responsibility as well. And some of that was not just sitting around, like it wasn't money that was just sitting around. And up until that point, there was a lot, up to signing the contract, there was a lot of just doors opening very fast. And I was just walking through and enjoying the ride. And it didn't really get stressful up until I was beginning to think about, like signing the contract and becoming financially responsible for these books. And God spoke to me via the story of Elisha and the widow's oil. This was after I had taken the plunge, but I was really, really stressing about whether this was smart, because it isn't smart for everybody. And it's sort of like, is it smart for me to take out a loan to go to college? Is it smart for me to buy a house? It's not the best decision for everyone. But the story of Elisha and the widow's oil goes like this. Now, the wife of one of the sons of the prophets cried to Elisha, "Your servant, my husband, is dead, and you know that your servant feared the Lord, but the creditor has come to take my 2 children to be his slaves to pay debts." And Elisha said to her, "What do you have in the house?" And she said, "I have nothing except a jar of oil." Then he said, "Go outside, borrow vessels from all your neighbors, empty vessels and not too few. Then go in and shut the door behind yourself and your sons and pour into all these vessels. And when one is full, set it aside." So she obeyed, and as she poured, they brought more vessels to her. And when they were full, she said, "Bring me another one." And they said, there are no more. Then the oil stopped flowing. And she came and told the man of God, and he said, "Go sell the oil and pay your debts, and you and your sons can live on the rest." And God spoke to me through that passage, and he said, you are basically doing the equivalent. You are borrowing. I mean, I wasn't doing it to live on or to pay debts, but he said, you are borrowing vessels to contain the oil that I have been pouring. And your job is to just trust me and to continue bringing the vessels, and I will keep pouring. And you just don't stop until the oil stops flowing. You do your part, and I will do mine and provide the oil for the vessels you are bringing, even if you have to borrow the vessels. And I love her statement, how she says it, I have nothing in the house except a jar of oil. So she did have something, and God basically wanted her to use what she had. In 2 Corinthians, I believe it says, a year ago you started not only to do this work, but also to desire to do it. Now finish doing it out of what you have, because if the readiness is there, it's acceptable according to what a person has, not according to what he does not have. And I take that to mean, Paul was talking about the project of giving to the saints in Jerusalem, but I take that to mean, what if God has given you something to do, work at it. Don't worry about what you don't have. Worry about what you do have, and honor God as he has told you to be obedient with what you've been given, and the rest will come. He will do his part, you will do yours, and when the oil stops flowing, he will tell you, okay, now it's time to go a different direction. Now I'm going to redirect you. So that is what sort of jump-started me on this journey when I had the books finished and was ready to publish them. And I just wanted to share that in celebration, but also in encouragement to you to take the staff in your hand like Moses. Take what God has given you. Ask him. The widow went to Elisha. She asked God. We can go directly to God and ask him, what do you want me to do with what is in my hand? And he will open your eyes to what you have that you maybe didn't even notice. And he will tell you what to do with it. And when he does, shut the door on yourself and shut out any distractions. Don't spend so much time rethinking what he has told you to do, but simply obey. Step into what he has opened up for you and keep doing that. Keep bringing the vessels, and he will keep flowing the oil. So be encouraged. And if you have not reviewed the book on Amazon, go ahead and do that and grab the trilogy copy, the ebook copy on there. I think you just type in My Brother the King trilogy, but I will leave the link as well. Bless you all.